This is Anti-Imperialist Front TV for the week ending December 14th, 2024. Imperialist aggression in Syria. Imperialism, with its regional collaborators and gangs, has realized its counter-revolution in Syria. Thus, the last country in the Middle East without a US base has fallen into the hands of the imperialists. As a result of 13 years of conflicts, the peoples of Syria, a multinational, multi-faith society, were pitted against each other. Now the power has passed to the reactionaries and jihadists. These gangs were supported by US imperialism, and especially by fascism in Turkey. All kinds of equipment and facilities were provided by Turkey. Syria is almost surrounded by Israel from the south, and Turkey and the gangs it feeds from the north. Salafist jihadists brought from all over the world shed the blood of the Syrian people on behalf of imperialism. In recent days, Turkey's foreign minister and the head of the National Intelligence Service, Hakan Fidan and Ibrahim Kalin, were in Damascus. His car was personally driven by HTS leader Jolani. Fascism in Turkey is primarily responsible for all the blood spilt since the beginning of the war. It is responsible and guilty for the deaths of poor Arabs, Alawites, Kurds, Christians, and people of every nation, belief, and minority. The actions of the gangs that have taken over Syria include forcing Palestinian groups to leave the country, attacks on the Alawite and Christian people, especially in Latakia, and religious reactionary lifestyle requirements. These gangs, which terrorize the civilian population, do not show the slightest reaction to the Israeli advance. On the contrary, they offer military facilities for Israeli bombardment. One of the most important weapons they use in attacks is the media. There has been very intense disinformation both over the last 13 years and in the latest period. With the support of the imperialist arena, they produce fake news and manipulate the masses just as they did in Iraq and elsewhere in the past. While the Western media publish these fake news, the civilian massacres carried out by the gangs are not reported at all. Disinformation, which is one of the important weapons of war against the people and is known to have a great effect in the form of psychological warfare, is again on the stage. In addition, the new imperialist government has announced that the previous economic policies would change and work more in line with the free market. All these developments reveal that what is happening in Syria is in the interests of imperialism, both politically, militarily, and economically. Mass hunger strike in Europe for Palestine. With the call of Irish revolutionaries, a mass hunger strike was held on 12th December in solidarity with the people of Gaza under occupation and massacre. The Anti-Imperialist Front also joined this call as a requirement of international solidarity. In its statement, the front said, "We will share our hunger for justice and demand justice for the hungry." 147 people from the Anti-Imperialist Front and People's Front supported this action, in which a large number of people participated. The antidote to imperialism is internationalism. It is our international solidarity that will stop the genocide in Gaza. Prisoners' resistance to isolation continues in Turkey. Fascism in Turkey's main weapon of attack against revolutionaries, the isolation attack, continues. Abdurrahman Aziz Aslan, one of the prisoners who resisted these attacks by going on hunger strike, was informed by the administration that his request was accepted, but he has not been transferred yet. Prisoners Serkan Onur Yilmaz and Serjan Ahmed Aslan continue their hunger strike resistance. Previously, 8 prisoners were able to leave their isolation cells by going on hunger strike. Resistance is the only method to achieve results against fascism in Turkey and in the world. British imperialism prosecutes anti-genocide activists. Britain, an open supporter of Israeli Zionism, is putting on trial Tony Greenstein, a writer known for his solidarity actions with the Palestinian people. Greenstein, who will be tried under the Terrorism Act, could be sentenced to up to 14 years in prison. The aim of such attacks is to suppress voices in their countries that oppose imperialist aggression. Greenstein's trial will be held on 19th December. On 14th December, a group of communists and anti-fascists gathered in the Belarusian capital Minsk for a collective screening of the film F-Type film made by Group Yoram. The screening was preceded by a presentation on the military operation and the Great Death Fast resistance that lasted in and out of prisons for 7 years, from 2000 to 2007. Documentary footage of the military operation was shown during the presentation. Also, 2 members of Group Yoram, Selma and Inan Altan, made a video for the event welcoming participants and talking about their film. And that is Anti-Imperialist Front TV for this week. For news outside the mainstream, follow us on social media. See you next week.